So, are you ready? I'd like to call the meeting of the North Rock Planning Commission to order, please. Ms. Keisha, would you please call the roll?
Alexander.
Here.
Glasgow. Chambers. Present. Beats.
Here.
Foster.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
White. Chairman Clifton.
Here. I'd like to also welcome our two Ward 1 aldermen with us today, Ms. Beth White and Debbie Ross. Glad that you're with us today. Let me give you a reminder, please turn your cell phones off. I'm glad they do that for me, mostly. The procedures for our planning commission are on the back of an agenda if you pick one up. And please, commissioners, remember to turn your mics on and speak into the mic as we conduct the business. And we have asked staff to give us a rundown on the city council activity that was done for the planning commission during the previous city council meeting, and that is noted on the back of the updated agenda that you have. Also, you have a personal contact information sheet that needs to be filled out and turned in to Mr. Spencer or Ms. Keisha before you leave today, if you could. With that, you have been submitted a copy of the minutes of our previous meetings. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, they be approved as submitted. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We'll move right into our Development Review Committee. Mr. Don Chambers, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Development Review Committee met and considered item SD 2016-47, our agenda addition, Lot 5R, Block 41, a replat and site plan review of a commercial development located at 710 Main Street. The applicant was present and agreed to items 1 through 14 and subsections, and with that, the Development Review Committee recommends approval.
Second. Motion made and seconded, be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. At this time, is there a motion to excuse our commissioners that are not here?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded for the commissioners not in attendance today to be excused. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Excuse me, Mr. Chambers, go ahead.
Yes, we also considered item B, SD 2017-2, Lakewood Addition, Lot 1R, Block 60, site plan review of offices with indoor storage located at 4500 North Hills Boulevard. The applicant was present and agreed to items 1 through 12 and subsections, and with that, the Development Review Committee recommends approval.
Motion made and seconded that this application be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Item C is SD 2017-3 of George Brown Addition, Lot 5R, replat of 2 lots into one located at 3919 Pike Avenue. The applicant was present and agreed to items 1 through 7 and subsections, and with that, the Development Review Committee recommends approval.
Motion made and seconded that this item be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Yes, sir. Please come up and give us your name, please.
I'm Robert Dubosky. Why do they need a C4 designation zoning? What are they putting in?
Mr. Spencer?
Right now, we're talking about replatting the lot into 2 lots. That part will come up later in the meeting.
Oh, okay. I just want to know why it was a C4. That's what I was wondering.
That's coming up later in the meeting.
Okay.
So that'll be item number 2
Okay.
on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from anyone in the audience on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Item D is SD 2017-4, Edwards Sheet Metal Addition, Lot 1, site plan review of an industrial building located at 9320 Maumelle Boulevard. The property is in the county. The Development Review Committee reviewed the application, and the applicant was present, agreed to items 1 through 7 in subsections, and with that, Development Review Committee recommends approval.
Motion made and seconded that this application be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Item E is SD 2017-5, Walmart Commercial Edition, Lot 11, site plan review of T-Mobile store located at 11921 Maumelle Boulevard. This is the old Splash Car Wash. The applicant was present and agreed to items 1 through 9 in subsections, and with that, the Development Review Committee recommends approval.
Motion made and seconded. This application be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Item F,
Excuse me, please. Mr. Domboski? Please. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Item F is SD 2017-6, the porches at Rockwater, Lot 1, replat and site plan review of a subdivision, residential subdivision located at the northwest corner of Parker and Rockwater. The applicant was present and agreed to items 1 through 13, and the Development Review Committee also met with them before this meeting and requested additional information, which we will make part of their zoning application in the second half of this meeting. But with that, the Development Review Committee recommends approval of the pieces that we reviewed.
Motion made and seconded that this application be approved as submitted. The additions will be included not in this portion, but in the rezoning?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
what you said?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
As submitted. Is there anyone that would like to speak on this application? Any commissioners? Yes, sir.
You know, one of the
Foster?
items that we discussed in our Development Review Committee, as it relates to the site plan, and that's what we're doing here is replanning and site plan review, was how to address the additional car. And the site plan needs to be revised to let us know what they're going to do and understand that it's going to be done and resubmitted too, along with what we're going to talk about later. But I want to make sure that was understood about this site plan. We're approving it contingent upon making changes as discussed earlier in our Site Development Review Committee, and I believe the applicant has agreed to do that.
Okay. Any other comments from anyone, any of the commissioners? Any other comments from anyone in the audience? On the application as submitted, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And that concludes the Development Review Committee's report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Chairman, we've got number
what about
G on the
number
main
G?
agenda.
G, I'm
It's
sorry,
a one- I'm
Richardson
sorry.
Business, that
Yeah.
wasn't part of my packet, but
Yeah.
item G is at site plan review 2450 and 245115, Richardson Business Center lots 9 through 10 in Block 2, a one-time 12-month extension. The Development Review Committee recommended that.
Okay, any comments from anyone in the audience on that application? Comments from any of the commissioners? All in favor on the extension? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chambers. We'll move into our public hearing. First item on our agenda is rezone case number 2017, number 1, to rezone property located at 4500 North Hills Boulevard from R4 to a PUD to allow for offices and indoor mini storage. Is the applicant here for this application? Please come up and give us your name, please.
My name is Michael Hall, address 4338 Amy Lane, Jacksonville, Arkansas,
Okay.
72076.
You were at the Design Review Committee meeting.
Yes, sir.
And have you been provided with a list of the recommendations from the Design Review Committee?
We had, and we addressed all of them.
Okay, and you're okay with those recommendations?
Absolutely. We did make 2 changes after meeting with the neighbors. We're going to extend an 8-foot masonry wall about 40 feet to block some headlights that they were concerned about. And then I promised Mr. Richmond I'd make sure that everybody understood that behind the building to the ditch there on the east side, we're going to keep that maintained and manicured. They wanted to make sure no brush or anything like that would grow up on it.
Okay, has that been noted in the, on the review that the committee looked at?
Sorry. Mr. Jason there's got the drawing showing it.
Okay. So have, Mr. Chambers, have the Design Review Committee had a chance to look at that?
Well, since the PUD, it will be, well, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do not know what we were supposed to have looked at after you met with the community.
No, the change that he's noting on the new plan,
I have not seen that.
Mr. Spencer?
Correct. The Design Review Committee has not seen it.
So what change are you proposing?
Yeah.
Happy to share.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Right here, they're gonna put a 8-foot fence right here. Keep the lights from shining into these properties right here.
Got it.
And then this area right here, instead of it being undisturbed area, it's gonna be maintained, this area right here, directly behind that building. So that, just so to maintain it and make it look, keep the brush down.
So an 8-foot fence behind, it's an 8-foot CMU wall behind the curb facing the residences where cars were driving right at their property. I understand that completely, and those are acceptable changes to me. Do we
Mr.
need to-
Chambers, would
did
you
want-
recommend to the Design
I
Review
do.
Committee that this be changed and added or changed on the plat?
Yes.
Okay.
Charlie, did you want to see this?
No,
Okay.
That would fall under our buffer requirement, so that's the 8-foot fence. It just, they've decided where to put it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir, go right ahead.
Go ahead.
It's irrelevant at this point.
Okay.
Then, Mr. Chairman?
Is there anyone else that would like to?
Norm,
I'm sorry.
there's, I think at your meeting, there was agreement on the times of the storage facility.
Yes, we talked about access being from 6 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night.
Monday through all week?
7 days a week, yes.
Okay. That maybe wanted added
Everything
to
shuts
the-
down. At 10 o'clock, there's no activity on the property.
That needs to be added to these recommendations?
If that's what you
Under
guys are wanting
additions
to
to
do.
be considered, we do not need to add the issue about the wall or maintenance. Those are not issues. But number 9 would be hours of operation, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week.
Yes, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week.
Okay.
Okay, with that addition, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners on the changes or the additions? Mr. White?
So we're going to take the whole church. Are we going to knock it down or redesign it?
No, sir. The intent is to try to repurpose the church into office space
And also inside storage?
in the basement for the most part. Structurally, the sanctuary and stuff can't support anything like that. But there's about 9,000 square feet in the basement that we're looking at converting.
And when we say inside storage, like if I wanted to bring my furniture over there and store it, or is it, what?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, ideally in that particular building, the storage that would go in there is the very end of the development.
Okay, and so the offices are just business offices?
Correct. Currently, the North Pulaski Baptist Association has their offices there. We're going to try to do a lease back with them, but yeah, quiet office use.
Okay, and what about the signage out front right now?
Currently, there's a sign for the church. Our site plan shows a monument sign for the storage and a monument sign for the office.
Okay, will that sign be taken down on North Hills that was basically two tractor tires and concrete buckets?
Yes, yeah. It did, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about for the, there's a group that meets there, I think.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
just dug a couple of holes in the ground.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that would be eliminated?
Absolutely.
Okay, and when we're talking about hours of operation, what were the operations for?
Storage.
Storage, so
For
if you rented,
storage,
if you
but that's
rented a
still going to be
unit.
a very minimal part?
The site plan that they've laid out has 2 overhead doors that
Yeah, I saw that.
people will drive into, to the interior, and the storage is that not?
Sir, that's a different site plan for a different project. The one that we showed you, I have pictures.
Okay,
If I may.
so
They had numerous.
people will drive to that door.
Yes, sir.
And then carry their storage
Yes, sir.
inside.
There's
Okay.
Mini storage.
elevators there. We have 3 doors.
3-story mini storage.
But they just said it was more office. Wait a minute.
There's 3 buildings on the site. That we're adding 2 additional buildings for the purpose of climate control interior storage, and then we're repurposing the church as a whole for office space.
Okay, so the church is going to be office space. You're going to add on for the mini storage type indoor?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
and that's
Two-
what the
two
hours of
freestanding
operation.
buildings. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's what I was asking about the inside storage, and you said it was
Sorry.
just going to be on the bottom floor. And that's
No,
where-
the church has a basement
Yeah,
that's
well,
accessed, and
Gets that.
yeah. But the storage for the 99% is in the 2 freestanding buildings, A and B.
Okay.
I'm sorry, B and C.
And how many offices do you think you'll have?
Well, it really depends on how much somebody wants to rent. I think we show about 22,000 overall square footage of office space available. It's an older church, and so,
I live right close to it, down the street from it.
yeah, it's, the way it's laid out is, you go into a room and there's a room probably half this size, and then there's 3 or 4 classrooms off of it. It lends itself to an office suite situation,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And the goal is, to try to repurpose the church. It's in great shape.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chambers?
And I just wanted to point out that this is a very good quiet use for the property because it is zoned R4 and could support a considerable number of apartments.
Okay. Any other comments from any of the commissioners? On the application, please call the roll.
Alexander.
Yes.
Plaska.
Yes.
Chambers.
Yes.
Deeds. Foster.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
White.
Ask one last question
Yes, sir.
before I vote. Did we get any complaints from the neighbors on Fairway?
They actually met with the neighbors, so they had 2 back-to-back meetings with some neighbors and everything.
Yes, sir.
Is anybody here?
We
And I
had
think
neighbors
2
here.
aldermen went to it too, so.
That's who I wanted to see, wait. Okay, I'm good. Yes. I vote yes.
Chairman Clifton.
Yes. Your application did pass. Get with Mr. Spencer, and he can tell you what your next procedure would be.
Thank you for the favorable vote.
Thank you. Next item of business is rezone case number 2017-2 to rezone property located at 3921 Pike Avenue from R3 to C4 and to amend the land use plan from community shopping to trade fair to allow for commercial development. Is the applicant here? Okay, tell us, give us your name.
Jason with Marler Engineering.
Jason, tell us what you'd like to do here.
Well, the property, the Pike Avenue, or not Pike Avenue, 39th Street's getting widened and realigned, and an agreement with the city engineer, I do believe it was, and the development people, that they would allow this guy to have it rezoned. The gentleman's not doing nothing with the back part of the property. He's basically combining his property all into one right there, so he can use the back part of his property to park the cars that he works on and stuff like that.
Okay,
I mean, it's currently what he uses it for now.
okay. Mr. Domboski, do you have some questions you'd like to answer for this? Okay. Any other comments from anyone in the audience on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? On the application, please call the roll.
Alexander,
Yes.
Glasgow,
Yes.
Chambers,
No.
Deets, Foster,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
White. No. Chairman Clifton.
Yes. Your application did pass. If you get with Mr. Spencer, he can tell you what you would need to do next. Thank you. Next item of business is rezone case number 2017-3 to rezone property located at 303 Parker Street from R3 to a PUD to allow for residential development. Is the applicant here? Yes. Please come up and give us your name.
North Plus Development Corporation, and I'm Lisa Farrell, and my partner and is also my husband, Jim Jackson, and I have our engineers with us today.
Okay. This is the item that came through with the site plan review a while ago, and it's my understanding that you will be submitting to the staff, or to the Site Development Review Committee at our next meeting, the things that they've asked for in
That is
way of
correct.
construction
An enhanced materials list and
elevations.
elevations,
Okay.
floor plans, and also a reworking of the sidewalk.
Okay, good. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Yes, sir. Please come up and give us your name, please.
Charlie Holloway, 4th and Parker. That land down there is not zoned for anything. It's got water that gets 6 inches deep, a 2-inch rain. If you add more buildings on the other side, it's going to raise that to 2 foot. They put property in over across the street. I need my application, put a wash tier on corner of 4th and Parker. That's in a flood zone area down there. I built apartments down on the River Road down there. The back apartments, water got into them. They did, it's in a floodplain. Floodplain here, it's been there for years. I've seen water up 6 feet, corner of 4th and Parker. Anything you put in there is going to add more water to it. I don't think we can handle any more water. If they pass it, I'll have a wash tier in there in 90 days.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Holloway. Any other comments from anyone in the audience? Mr. Chambers?
Yes. Mr. Holloway, you were contending that if this is constructed, it will increase flooding in your area? Okay. Yes, sir. Just to clarify, your comments were that if this project is developed, it will increase flooding in that general area.
Well, it's in floodplain now.
Okay. Okay, well, we can add another condition on here that will attempt to assure that there will not be additional flooding. So let us work on this to alleviate the flooding issue. Okay? They're not planning on doing that. So let me work on this just a second. We have some additional conditions for consideration that we discussed previously, and I would like to, and I'll if I may, can I read those now?
Mr. White had a question of him before you do that. Come back to the microphone, please. Let's get his question first.
So, I just want to ask. What his question was, is by building these, is it going to increase your water issue?
Oh, yes, tremendous.
That's what I wanted to hear from.
Okay.
Just a 2-inch rain will raise water 6 inches on 4th and Parker.
Okay.
Okay.
It won't drain off. It's just, say, 6 inches, 2 or 3 days after the rain.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Holloway. All right, Mr. Chambers?
We currently have, for consideration, 5 conditions. The first is allow 8 single-family resident houses. Number 2 is each of the 8 single-family houses modify that to the Sugar Cliff only design. Materials list, but that'll be addressed under my comments. Item 4 is meet the requirements of site plan review and provide 18-foot wide paved lane in the alley on the west side of the property. As I understand, Sean, that is from 4th Street to the driveway. Correct. Okay, all the way through.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to add the following to address item 3. Item 3 should read, label all exterior materials and illustrate the materials on the elevations provided. Does that cover your request? And label on those illustrations. Item 6, I'm going to imagine is item 6. Adjust the site plan elements to accommodate one car parked between the carport and the street without blocking the sidewalk. And by blocking the sidewalk, I mean making it impossible for a handicapped person to get around the car without going into the street. And number 8 is going to be to work with the city engineer to assure that there will be no, I don't want to say increase, but no flooding of Parker Street. What's the best way of phrasing this? Can you help me out, Charlie?
I don't know how you can control the act of God. We
Well,
can't do
I'm not
that.
saying it.
I was going to ask the applicant's engineer
Yes.
if he can give us some information on this.
Yes, I would like to ask him a question.
Please come up. Yes, sir.
To understand the question, are we talking about raising?
We have testimony that says that street floods 6 inches in a 2-inch rain, and that building your project will exacerbate the problem. Our normal way of handling that is refer the problem to the city engineer, and you and the city engineer work together to make sure the flooding doesn't get worse, and B, it's alleviated.
Right. Just so you
Help me
guys
out.
know, we were involved in the design of the roundabout, riverfront. I mean, when we built Rockwater Boulevard, we took in consideration existing flooding as it was now. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but you don't, as you drive up and down Rockwater, you don't. We accommodated, stop that flooding.
I would ask then that you get assurances from the city engineer that flooding in that area has been alleviated.
Okay,
That's a
Mr.
lot-
Foster?
That's a lot to add to this. I mean, that's a
That's
burden.
what- that's
'cause, I mean,
where I was-
well, I think the question here is an allegation made that this is in a floodplain, and I think our engineers need to address that. Is this in a 100-year floodplain?
He's got the preliminary plat that shows it's not in the
It's the levee, it's not in the floodplain, and I guess
Yeah,
the
that's
city
it.
engineer,
I didn't think it was either, okay.
the levee, I mean, obviously,
And-
Arkansas River levee is.
But Donna,
You
we
wanna
can't
work
ask
that
them to
to
say
get
there's not going to be
approval
flooding
from
in the
city
area.
engineer?
Yes.
Perhaps may I suggest that we work with the city engineer?
Yes.
To make sure that drainage in the area is sufficient to accommodate the new housing.
Yes.
That, I think that would be sufficient there, don't
Yes.
you? That will be part of the conditions that will be from the site plan review committee.
Of the engineering,
Right.
that they approve.
Mr. White?
My understanding, that's the regulation anyway, isn't it, Sean?
Yes.
Yes.
By making a condition, we're just kind of underlining.
I understand. I think you did a good job on that. May I ask one more question? On the homes that you're building, is there a 100-year floodplain, or is there not a 100-year?
No, it's not in the floodplain.
Well, I notice yours are being built higher off the ground. How high are they being built off the ground?
The elevation will be about 24 inches, and that's simply for the aesthetic of having the porch a little elevated above the walkway.
Oh, they look nice. I was just curious about that.
You're not raising the entire lot 24 inches.
No, no,
You're
no,
raising
no,
individual
just the building.
houses. So the current grades in the area will remain the same.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Holloway, does that, do you understand what they're talking about there?
Please come to the microphone.
And can I ask Mr. Holloway a
Yes,
question?
sir.
Hey, Mr. Holloway, before we start, you said it's in the floodplain. They say it's not in the floodplain.
Well,
Sean, is it in the floodplain?
I'm not the city engineer but from what I understand, it is not.
Okay,
I'm not an expert on that.
okay, I just thought I'd be clear.
Well, you consider me an expert. It's a-
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Did he answer your question, Mr. White?
Oh, he answered my question. He thinks it is in the floodplain, and
Okay.
if
I don't
the
think
water
I know.
goes up that much, there's an issue down there. Yeah, from being in the floodplain. I understand that. But there is an issue down there that we have on flooding, and that's what he's bringing up.
But next time it rains, go down there and look, you see water.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from anyone in the audience? Any other comments from any of the commissioners? And you
one-
understand the addition to the recommendations of the Site Plan Review Committee? Okay, Mr. Chambers?
Yes, I wanted to add that items 6 and 7 are to be submitted to the Design Review Committee at their next meeting. And that it's a contingent, we're approving this as a contingency, okay?
Correct.
That's correct.
They understand.
yes.
Mr. Foster, you had a question?
I'm good.
Okay, on the application, please call the roll.
Alexander,
Yes.
Glasgow,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Deets,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Phillip,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Chairman Clifton.
Yes. The application did pass, contingent upon satisfaction of all of the conditions that were put upon it. Okay? And Mr. Holloway, the Design Review Committee will meet on the date?
Wednesday the 18th.
Wednesday, the 18th. If you would like to come and get an update on what you're doing. Okay, seeing no further business before the commission, we have one public comment. Anyone in the audience would like to have a public comment? Seeing none. Mr. Chambers?
Yes, has Ron Ron Harris suggested anyone as his replacement yet?
I have not heard from the mayor yet to see if he's appointed anybody, but at the point in time, he has not.
At this point in time, so who knows when that position may be filled?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Motion?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. We be adjourned. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Get your sheets turned in.